All right. Well, it's always a pleasure to run into you at spring training, John. How have things been now that you're back?
Fantastic. It's nice to get out of the cold weather in Canada and get to something warmer than
But
that.
I don't mean back from Canada, I mean back from Florida, because you went from Canada to here to Florida and then back here.
I didn't go to Florida.
Shut up.
No,
Do we need to do a take two on this?
I was a Canadian.
Yeah, but weren't you on the Canadian team?
Yeah, we played here though, in Arizona.
All right, but you left camp, all right?
I left camp
Yes,
to go to
all right.
Goodyear.
I'm sorry, I was
Yes.
misinformed. All right, now let's get this. So, do we start with?
How was the camp in Goodyear?
Just about as campy as it is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Baseball.
It was
golf.
baseball. Yeah, it was the
Diamonds.
same. It was nice. It was a good little breakup though. You're with different people, so it was fun.
How are you? Any dings? Any injuries? Anything that's got to be worked on?
No. I feel great. Ready to go.
Strengthened?
Always need to be stretched and strengthened, but physically I feel great. I'm ready to go.
I noticed there's a lot of stretching. Just like we were watching yesterday, guys were stretching, then they're going to get on the bus, and then they're going to go, and then they're going to stretch when they get off the bus.
It's true. As a
Can you
reliever,
enlighten us on all of that?
well, as a reliever, I probably stretch maybe if I'm pitching, probably 4 times a day.
Yeah.
In all honesty, so when I get to the ballpark, and then when you get out there, you're stretching a couple more times, and then before you pitch, you're going to stretch again. So
Do you just sort of get in the mental state where everything is preceded by a stretch before you pour the bowl of cereal, before you put the socks on?
almost, when I get dressed, that's my little warm up. The car, you cool down again. So when you get here, that's why you have to stretch back out.
Sure.
Signing autographs, you got to give a little forearm. Before
Yeah,
that,
get that fingers loosened up.
Speaking of signing autographs, how does that work? Because every year you guys go on the field, it's not the same players, it's different players. Is it you're assigned a letter or a group or something like that when you go out? Now that you're not all approachable here.
No, it's just kind of a free-for-all here in spring training, which is good. I think this is the most approachable time to try and get a hold of players during the season. It can be kind of difficult, but fans are allowed in, during BP. Early in camp when we're crossing over to the minor league side, there's fans all, waiting for us out there. So it's a good time to be able to, get a hold of some players if you can't get them during the season.
What's the proper etiquette if you're coming out to spring training and they're going to catch you walking across from this side of the park over to the minor league side? Walk with you, stop you, hey, what?
A hello and a please is always the best approach. Most people won't sign when they're still going about their business throughout the day. I know I'm one of those guys. If I still have work to do, I'll wait till the end of the day, wait till I'm all done, and I'll catch people over in the right field corner over here, and that's when I'll sign at the end of the day. But if you still have some stuff to do, especially before the day even begins, it's tough to try and sign a bunch of autographs and be late for stretch. You don't want to do that.
What's the deal with the hair this year?
Keeping it shorter.
I see that.
I think I'm going to keep it trimmed. I need another haircut. It's been over a month now.
See, last year we couldn't get you into the barber chair, and now this year.
And weren't you trying to coordinate last year with Yo?
Yeah, well, my hair was a little bit longer than his, I think.
You couldn't get them like the same length at the same time.
No, if I just, maybe if I trimmed mine up, or if, he let his grow, if I kept trimming it, maybe it would have been at the same length. But eventually it just got too hot and annoying, so.
Yeah.
And I'm way better looking with short hair, obviously.
Oh, well,
Well, I didn't want to say anything. So how was the off season? What'd you do? Tell us something interesting that you did.
Interesting that I did.
Come on, there's got to be something.
I enjoyed the off season. I was just at home with the wife and my boys. Just got to enjoy them, watch them grow up a little bit, which you get to miss sometimes when you're on the road. You miss some of those key moments. So when you're at home, it's good to just try and soak it in as much as you can. Just a few weekends away here and there, but nothing too outrageous.
Did you put in a pool? Did you plant trees around the yard?
No, I don't need a pool in Canada. Actually, we're probably the only house in our court that doesn't have a pool because we're not home in the summer, so why would we need one? But we did get to deal with a good plumbing issue for about 4 or 5, actually
okay,
what
happened?
More like 8 weeks. Long story short, we had...
Well, you don't have to make it,
No, I need to make it short. Okay. It started in October and ended...
We need to fill a lot of time here. It could be a long story long, John.
Well, it started at the end of October and ended the day before I left to come to spring training, so like the very end of January.
Talking toilet?
Yeah, there was a backup whenever you were showering in the first floor toilet, and we were always curious as to why this was happening, and
That sounds like a mild way of putting it.
Yeah, plumber was always coming out. Luckily, it was never bad. It was literally just shower water every single time. So, we just figured there was a blockage out in the yard somewhere. Maybe a pipe was broken. Turns out when our house was renovated a few years ago, we were the first to move into it. It was an older home, renovated a few years ago. No one put in a city line of sewer.
What kind of contractors do you have in Canada anyway?
There was
that Mike Holmes show, you know.
Exactly.
He's always talking about the horrible contractors up there. He's got to come by and do things right.
I know, right?
Who are these people that are building?
I don't know. Whoever did this didn't do it right. That's for sure. They collapsed a septic tank in the backyard. And,
so wait a minute, they didn't put in a city line, so you're on septic?
It was on septic.
Okay, because the way it sounded, I thought they just dead-ended some pipe into your yard somewhere. It was just
like the Colorado River.
Right, like it was just kind of seeping into your yard.
That could be true. We actually don't know just yet. We're waiting for the contractors still to try and figure that out. They're going to dig up our yard and our deck that's back there. But according to the plans that were handwritten in 1978, there is a line that goes to our yard somewhere back there, and it could just be dead-ended, or it could end up at the house, but nothing from the house is going to it. It's going to a collapsed septic that was in our backyard for 3 years. So we had a lovely off-season.
Now, when you didn't build this house, because you said in 78, right? So you bought an existing home. Mm-hmm. Wasn't it inspected?
Yeah, but...
Can't you sue that guy? I mean...
No, it wasn't the inspector. It's obviously the people that, that I think people in the city, the contractors, whoever did it, someone just lost communication, collapsed the septic tank that was apparently still using, that you're still using in, suburbia for some reason. When you're doing a home inspection, I don't think the guy's going to start digging up your yard and looking.
Well, does he even flush all the toilets? Does the home inspector go around and kaboom every?
Yes, they did, and everything worked for 2 straight years. But this off season, apparently 3 years of sewage begins to back up.
Maybe people should think about that when they see a pitcher on the mound who's struggling with his control. They're going, what's wrong with this guy tonight? Maybe his toilets aren't working at home, and he's got a little something on his mind that work like everybody else.
This is very true. Yeah, my workouts in the off season were totally disrupted because all I could think about was the potential of the shower that could back up in our first floor and then leak into the basement. So,
are you ready to go? Are you ready to get out of this place yet? I mean, spring training, not this interview. I mean, spring training in general.
No, this interview we can stay as long as we want. Spring training, we come in a little bit earlier. I was here very beginning of February. It was a good break to have a WBC because that breaks up the monotony of spring training a little bit. But once you start in games, you're excited, and once the games get going, I'm ready to roll. I'm a reliever, so I'm only going to throw 1 inning at a time. I don't need to build myself up. I'm ready.
So you're ready for the season to start mañana?
I wish. Yeah, I wish it could. I'll enjoy this weather, though, right now for a little bit longer.
Yeah, did you hear the weather? Go ahead, Brian. Tell them what it's going to do for the rest of the week.
It's going to be 25 degrees, and we're going to get an inch and a half of snow in Milwaukee today.
So we have a roof, so that's good.
Roof's working. I hear the field in Miller Park is spectacular right now.
Well, at least our first road trip is into Chicago. Oh, wait at this.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, epic fail there.
Yeah, it's going to be
So the weather report does sound a lot like Canada, but the good news is all the toilets are working.
That's good. Miller Park has a lot of toilets, so hopefully none of those back up.
Excellent.
That would be a plus.